All right. Meeting for Monday, March 9th, 2026. We're at 7:02 p.m. We're going to do a quick roll call. Commissioner Tony,
Present.
Commissioner Russell,
Present.
Commissioner Wood,
Here.
Commissioner Beisel,
Present.
Vice Chairman Noy,
Here.
and Chairman Nickerson. I am here. So all board members are here. We have enough for a quorum. At this time, I'd like to get a motion to, actually, we can't adopt the agenda from the last meeting because that meeting got, the February meeting got continued, or we're just gonna adopt for January.
We can adopt agenda, but we can't approve the minutes from the last meeting. We can adopt agenda for this meeting.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay, so let me get a motion to adopt the agenda.
I'll make that motion.
Okay, and a second?
I'll second.
All right, we have a motion by Vice Chairman Noy, and a second by Commissioner Russell. We'll go to the vote. Commissioner Tony,
Yes.
Commissioner Wood,
Yeah.
Commissioner Basil, Commissioner Russell,
Yes.
Vice Chairman Noy,
Yes.
and I approve. That motion carries 6-0. We now cannot have the approval for the last meeting because we didn't have enough to, for a quorum, so there was no February meeting. We do January?
Okay.
Okay. And that would be January 12th. So we're adopting the approval of those minutes and the agenda for that meeting. Just the meeting minute. Okay. Can I get a motion to approve the meeting minutes for the January?
I'll make a motion to approve.
Okay, can I get a second?
I'll second it.
All right, the motion is made by Commissioner Russell, second by Vice Chairman Noy. Commissioner Wood,
Yes.
Commissioner Tony,
Yes.
Commissioner Beisel,
Yes.
Commissioner Russell. Yes. Vice Chairman Noy.
Yes.
And that's a yes for me. All right, that's okay, 6-0. All right, you opened up to the public hearing at this point, or you did this presentation? Okay, so we're gonna do, the introduction of the action item was presentation to the planning commission by Mr. Tabor.
Good evening, Mr. Chair, Vice Chair, and members of the commission. Can we bring up the capital improvement program presentation? I'm sorry, it has capital improvement program. Great. So the Virginia Code, Section 15.2-2239, provides that a local planning commission may, and at the direction of the governing body shall, prepare and revise annually a capital improvement program based on the comprehensive plan not to exceed an ensuing 5 years. The capital improvement program shall include the commission's recommendations and estimates of cost, and localities may use value engineering for capital projects as needed. So the town of Dumfries Town Council adopted the comprehensive plan as recommended by the Planning Commission June 17th of 2025. And the proposed Town of Dumfries Capital Improvement Program includes capital projects from the action items adopted in the comprehensive plan. The projects of the proposed capital improvement program include the associated comprehensive plan element, vision, goal, policies, and action. The projects of the proposed capital improvement program also include the estimated cost, the amount of secured funding for the project, and the source of secured funding. Efforts to secure funding for capital projects are ongoing, and the capital improvement program will be revised as additional funding sources are identified and funding is secured. So projects and funding information in the proposed capital improvement program will be used to develop the town's capital improvement plan and budget to be considered by the town council during the annual budget process. So the capital improvement program, which is before you this evening, will lead to the creation of the capital improvement plan and budget, which are separate documents. So the capital improvement program as provided in your packet includes items related to transportation, the transportation and infrastructure chapter of the comprehensive plan. And again, all of these items are action items in the comprehensive plan. And they're listed here. One is construct all sidewalks to a minimum of 5 feet in width and incorporate a 3-foot utility strip between the curb and sidewalk wherever possible. Then we have items that are in the natural resources and the environment chapter. And one of the action items is pursue opportunities to modernize the town's stormwater drainage system, including as part of roadway improvements along Main Street, Route 1, and other future roadway projects. There are action items that are part of the Parks and Recreation element. One is to provide multi-purpose trails for walking, running, and biking. And we have additional action items that are in the Parks and Recreation element. Then we have items in from the Historic Resources, Arts, and Culture element or chapter of the comprehensive plan. Implement phased streetscape improvements in accordance with the Main Street plan to accentuate the town's historic character and themes while enhancing the visitor experience and access to historic resources. And finally, we have 26 total action items from the comprehensive plan that are proposed for the capital improvement program. And the last chapter that is included is the public health and safety. And one of the action items is to pursue the undergrounding of power lines to reduce the vulnerability to weather events and safety hazards to the public. So the request this evening is for the Planning Commission to adopt a resolution that's included in your packet that includes a recommendation to the Town Council to adopt the capital improvement program. And I'm happy to respond to any questions.
Start with you, Commissioner Boswell. Do you have any questions?
No question.
Okay. Commissioner Tony.
At this time.
Okay. Commissioner Wood.
No question.
Commissioner Russell.
No questions.
Vice Chairman Noy.
One question for you, Mr. Tabor. As far as you mentioned the sidewalks, are we going to ever see a map related to the plans for sidewalks?
Indeed, yes. The town actually recently received funding for a Safe Streets for All grant. And that will include an assessment and study of the town's sidewalks, and that information will be provided to you. We also have additional plans that are being prepared that will include a network of bike and pedestrian facilities throughout the town that will also come before you as well.
All right. That's my only question, Mr. Chair. Thank you.
Okay. And I do not have any questions at this time. So we will vote on whether or not we will approve this.
Yes, and to adopt the resolution
Okay.
and to recommend approval.
Mr. Chair, I make a motion, recommend approval for, or vote, making motion to vote on approval.
This is, we have to vote on these individually, correct? The capital
Yes, sir.
improvement. We'll do the capital improvement plan first. We have a motion by Vice Chair Noy. Can I get a second?
I'll second that.
We have a second by Commissioner Wood. Call for the vote. Mr. Bazo? All right. Commissioner Tony? I approve. Commissioner Wood?
Yes.
Commissioner Russell?
Yes.
Vice Chairman Noy?
Yes.
And I approve. That vote carries 6-0.
Thank you.
You can continue on, sir.
Thank you, sir. Mr. Chair, Vice Chair, and members of the commission, the next item is a presentation on the Potomac Heritage National Scenic Trail. And so the Potomac Heritage National Scenic Trail is a congressionally designated trail network that runs from the Potomac River in Maryland and Virginia to the Allegheny Highlands in western Pennsylvania. There are 833 miles of existing trails, 91 miles of planned trails, totaling 924 miles. The Northern Virginia Regional Commission, or NVRC, has provided planning and management for the Northern Virginia section of the PHNST since the 1990s, including support prior to congressional designation. The trail includes completed segments, planned segments, and proposed segments. There are completed, planned, and proposed routes in Prince William County. However, there is a gap because there are no proposed routes in the town of Dumfries currently. Prince William County, through a grant, completed a feasibility study that looked at gaps in the trail network, and they identified gap 2 in the town of Dumfries. Alternatives for the gap 2 were screened to determine if they fully met the project's purpose and need, and access and mobility, health, safety, and quality of life, and economic benefits are purpose and needs for the trail network. The preferred alternative was alignment 2 in the Prince William County study. And alignment 2, you can see, goes along Batestown Road, then Cameron Street, then down Duke Street to Main Street. And it passes the Weems-Botts Museum, the Dumfries Elementary, and Merchant Park. It's on the east side of Van Buren, and again, it connects to Prince William Forest and the main street of the town of Dumfries. So in addition to the gap included in the gap analysis that was conducted by Prince William County, town staff worked with NVRC staff to develop a proposed trail alignment that completes the trail connection through the town of Dumfries. The proposed alignment would connect to Prince William Forest to the west, and to the east, the section of the PHNST in Prince William County. In addition to Merchant Park, the Weems Spots Museum, the Dumfries Elementary, the proposed alignment would provide pedestrian connections to Garrison Park and the town's new waterfront district. Staff recommends approval of the resolution recommending that the town council adopts the proposed alignment of the Potomac Heritage National Scenic Trail in the town of Dumfries. If approved, the town will confirm the proposed alignment with NVRC, and it will be officially included on the PHNST map. The proposed alignment will be used to seek funding for construction, and the proposed alignment may be changed once it is planned and moves to the next phase, which is planned designation. I'm happy to respond to any questions.
Questions for the commissioners? I'll start with you, Commissioner Tony. You have any questions?
You earlier indicated that the town had received some funding. Was that in reference to this particular project?
It is, it's related, but it's different.
It's different. So it won't be used for this.
No, not directly.
So my understanding then is after we pass the resolution, then they can apply for then.
Yes, sir. Exactly.
That's to understand, okay. All right.
Thank you. Commissioner Wood?
And this is in conjunction with the county, right? This project, or is this separate from the county?
So this would be the town's portion of the trail, but there are portions in the county as well. And this would link to the portions in the county.
Okay. Thank you.
Commissioner Russell?
I guess my question off of that is, do we know, as far as Prince William County and their plans, when they're going to have their sections done in relationship to ours?
There are some sections that are currently constructed in Prince William County, but the sections that will link to the town, those the construction dates for those sections have not been determined yet.
Okay. Thank you. That's everything.
Commissioner Beisel?
No questions.
Vice Chairman Noy?
No questions for me, Mr. Chair.
Okay, so tying in what Commissioner Russell was saying, so that they've not released any dates upon anything that they're planning on, their portion that link up with us, right?
No, we do have quarterly meetings with a regional group that includes the county to talk about the status and construction and potential funding sources. But at this time, there are there's no schedule or projected dates for construction.
Does it seem to be any movement as far as aggressive or otherwise in relation to it?
Yes, there just in this current legislative session, there have been requests made in the state legislature for funding to construct the trail both in the town and in the county and elsewhere.
Okay. All right. If there are no other questions, I'd like to get a motion recommended to adopt the approval of the Potomac Heritage National Scenic Trail Route Map. Can I get a motion?
I so move.
Okay, I have a motion by Commissioner Tony. Can I- Second by Commissioner Russell. Call for the vote. Commissioner Beisel?
Approved.
Excuse me. Commissioner Russell?
Approved.
Commissioner Wood? Commissioner Tony?
Yes.
Vice Chairman Noy?
I approve.
And I approve that. Motion carries 6-0. All right. At this time, we will have new business. And I believe we have 3 different zone amendments that we have to address. We want to open this up to public hearing. Or you wanna-
Yeah, if I could maybe give the presentation.
Okay, and then we'll ask if there's anyone wants to speak on behalf.
Yes.
You want to do it, do one, and then we'll see if anybody's here to speak on that one, and then we'll do the next.
Yes, please.
Okay.
All right. Can we bring up the ZTA 2026-001, a petition to add EV sales? Great, thank you. So the town of Dumfries received a petition to amend the Town Code Division 6, Business General District B1, to add auto sales of electric vehicles as an allowed use in the B1 district with conditions and a conditional use permit or CUP. During a regular meeting held in 2013 and following a recommendation from the Planning Commission and a duly advertised public hearing, the Town Council adopted Ordinance 2013-009, amending the code, Town Code relating to General Business District B1. Among many other changes, the zoning text amendment removed automobile and truck sales and service establishments subject to securing a conditional use permit with conditions. Automobile uses are permitted currently in the FB01 district or Flex Business Office District. The proposed code amendments are as follows. In section 70-247B, uses allowable pursuant to a conditional use permit. Automobile uses, A, automobile sales, lot size shall not be less than 1.5 acres. Businesses must have a structure that may serve as a showroom. All automobiles shall be placed in a marked parking space conforming to section 70-13 site plans for new establishments or tenant layouts for alteration of existing establishments shall contain a certified parking plan, a vehicle delivery statement, a landscaping plan, and a lot parking calculation table. Site plans shall conform to Article 3, Division 11 of this chapter, and tenant layouts shall be drawn to scale. Additional consideration: all automobiles sold shall be electric vehicles. Automobile maintenance and service are prohibited. And another condition for your consideration is conditional use permits will expire in 5 years from the date of approval and may be renewed for an additional 5 years if approved by the town council. Staff conducted an inventory of auto sales businesses in the town and compiled a list of 14 businesses. However, 2 share the same address. 1 is permanently closed and 3 are no longer on private property and are located on Route 1 right-of-way that will be included in the Route 1 widening project, so they will be discontinued. Of the remaining businesses, 2 are located on parcels, or 1 is located on a parcel that is at least 1.5 acres and has a structure that can serve as a showroom. This map, unfortunately, it is small and may be difficult to see, but it includes the locations primarily along Fraley, Route 1, and Route 234 that are the locations of the existing auto businesses. And this is a list of the businesses referenced earlier, indicating the 2 sites that are at least 1.5 acres and the status of those properties that are either closed or within the right of way. So staff recommends that the Planning Commission recommends Town Council approval of the petition to amend the town code to allow electric vehicle sales use with conditions stated above. And the applicant is here this evening and has some information to share as well. Yes, I apologize. So, there is another presentation document.
I'd like to start off by thanking you all for consideration to this matter and respectfully seeking your approval for the proposal to amend the zoning code to allow for EV sales pursuant to a CUP in the B1 district. Our objective this evening is to share with you our goal with respect to the subject property. Namely, that objective is to achieve the vision of establishing a boutique niche ultra luxury electric vehicle showroom, which will deliver a high-end aesthetic consistent with the town's aspiration to cultivate a vibrant mixed-use hub within the Main Street Commons district. The reinstatement or establishment of a luxury automotive showroom is consistent with the spirit and intent of the 2044 Town's Comprehensive Plan and its vision elements, namely those consistent with the following vision elements: enhancing the visual appeal of the property through immediate beautification and property updates resulting in utilizing the property in an aesthetically pleasing manner, boosting economic growth through consumer, visitor, and other business attraction to the town while increasing the tax base and increasing revenue for the town, and finally promoting and supporting the town's clean energy initiatives and attracting consumers to utilize the electric vehicle charging infrastructure and businesses in our town. By way of background, this subject property, the historical uses include, but are not limited to, many automotive and heavy machinery related uses over the past several decades, including a franchise Dodge dealership, the Grand Rental Station heavy machinery and sales operation, a Pohanka collisions facility, a Caliber auto body facility and service center, and currently the parcel continues to be utilized as a collision and automotive repair facility. At the present time, as depicted in these images, the property exhibits conditions such as inoperable and damaged vehicles, large metal refuse containers, tires and debris that detract from the corridor's appearance and create an unattractive view for travelers and passerby. The site appears outdated as the asphalt is deteriorated, the fence outdated, and the parcel requires significant renovations. Our plan involves immediate revitalization of the site, beginning with comprehensive cleanup efforts and the removal of unsightly, damaged, and inoperable vehicles. We aim to eliminate these conditions and replace them with a curated upscale visual environment. I'll go through some proposal highlights, but the ultimate goal that we envision is this image here, as drawn up by our engineers. The proposal highlights, once again, the broader vision is for the property to establish a boutique, ultra-luxury electric vehicle showroom, which will deliver a high-end aesthetic consistent with the town's aspiration to cultivate a vibrant mixed-use hub within this district. A luxury and EV-focused inventory will support a modern, refined image that enhances the town's gateway appearance while attracting visitors, consumers, and future developers or investors. Such attraction is expected to lead to increased sales tax revenue both from in-person and online sales. Moreover, the attractive clientele, the attraction of clientele to the town of Dumfries will stimulate the use of clean energy infrastructure charging stations and attract visitor traffic to local businesses. This is a depiction of the parking sketch from our engineering team. It lays out all the parking, including employee and client parking spaces. And our final slide has some info to the extent it's applicable in this presentation regarding the projected growth of the EV market and sort of the operation that we are involved in, where we have many different projections and forecasts in the automotive space. And I guess the best summary of this slide here is to indicate that there's 100 to 600% growth projected for this market. So, over the next 5 to 10 years, we expect extreme amount of demand, and we're looking to bring this model to the town of Dumfries. I appreciate your time. I'll keep it brief. Thank you very much for your consideration, and I'm happy to answer any questions in connection to the proposal or the deck.
I'm gonna open it up to commissioners. Let's start with you, Commissioner Beisel.
This one plot of land, is that the extent of the expansion of your business?
That's correct, yes.
No further questions?
Okay. Commissioner Tony?
Couple of things. Well, you did answer some of the questions that we were kicking around during the planning, during the work session. But just want to hear your definition. Specifically, why did you use the term electric? Because the town already provides for automobile sales.
That is correct. So it just happens to be that our operation involves primarily electric vehicles, as discussed with Mr. Tabor, because we have so many folks that are now approaching this modern technology and sort of taking a huge swing over the past 3 to 5 years and will continue to do so. Folks bring to us the traditional gasoline vehicles or other types of vehicles as trade-in vehicles, and then we distribute them through wholesale channels. But our primary retail focus is on electric vehicles. That works well for us. We're a dominant player in the space in Northern Virginia. And, our experience is based primarily in Loudoun County, near Chantilly, Virginia. And this parcel, the subject parcel, we've found it to be very appropriate, both for the showroom and for the space capacity that we're seeking. Going back on your question, I think, as Mr. Tabor indicated, in 2013, the town phased out traditional automobile sales in the B1 district. And it's only permitted, I think, in the FB-O district. So this is sort of a unique exception based on this parcel that we found. We found rather than aiming for rezoning, this would be the best and most efficient manner in which to achieve the goal.
So at this site, you will not be offering any kind of maintenance or services to these vehicles?
That's a great question. Appreciate that. So this site has been for decades a automotive repair facility in the traditional sense, and most of the site is utilized for that. I guess inside this massive 10,000 square foot warehouse, there'll continue to be the repair piece will continue. I guess what we're proposing is that in terms of like traveling by this site or taking a view from the outside and driving by, what we're looking to do is modify the facade and completely modify and update the property so that it becomes a lot more attractive and sort of conceal or decrease the amount of visibility with respect to repair work, which will be done inside the warehouse, but primarily like the facade and the front, the face of the parcel will be this EV showroom.
So the answer to my the question then, will you be providing service maintenance at the site?
Not on these vehicles. They're two separate. So the parcel is a big piece. It's almost 2 acres, and the service work that will be provided to the existing business, some of that will be retained, but primarily, like, if you will, maybe 70% of the parcel will be utilized for this use, for the electric vehicle sales use.
So is that a yes or no?
Not for our business. So we won't be servicing electrical vehicles on this site. Yes.
All right, thank you, sir.
Commissioner Wood?
All right, so to piggyback off his question, the work that will be done there, is it collision work or is it just general maintenance?
I think it'll be, I don't have a clear answer on that part because that wasn't something we discussed throughout this application process. The property does still have, and there's actually I think a little over half an acre piece that's tied to this parcel that's owned by the same owner. They're 2 separate pieces, and that continues to operate as an automotive repair facility. So if we think about real estate as a bundle of sticks, we will retain some of those repair rights and uses, but we do not have plans to, maybe at the heart of your question is the following, is whether we will be a electric vehicle service center, and we will not. That's not a part of the business model.
This next question is for Mr. Tabor. Is this for a conditional use?
If the text amendment is adopted, a conditional use permit will be required.
And how long is a conditional use permit?
As long as the use is continued.
So there's no set date where then they would have to reapply again?
No. Unless the use is discontinued for, I think, a period of 2 years.
Thank you.
Commissioner Russell?
Mr. Tabor, as far as the conditional use permit, those conditions could be recommendations from the planning commission?
Yes.
Okay. My question to the applicant is, the parcel on the layout that you showed of the parking areas and like that, how much of that is actually in either RPA or floodplain?
It's not an issue we've looked into with the engineers, although I'm not aware of any part of this parcel being in the RPA or floodplain.
And you know how they plan to deal with water quality and stormwater management?
Yeah, that's a great question. To be clear, there's no expansion or development of any impervious areas. So no additional. In other words, there's no development of the asphalt. It's just the proposal would be just to renew it.
Respectfully, I would disagree compared to what you have there as far as that illustration of all the parking spaces.
Yes.
And what the existing site is does not look the same. To me, it looks like that site has been paved over, which is not necessarily a bad thing, but I'm saying that you will have a lot of water, stormwater that you will have to manage. And that is, the water table there is very, very shallow. So if you're going to have underground storage for your stormwater, you're not going to have very much storage. So I'm concerned about, as far as the environment, the RPA and the floodplain, and potentially you may be filling in some of that to meet your requirements for the amount of parking that you're showing.
Sure, I appreciate that.
So I would consider that and ask your engineer about that.
Absolutely, will do. We'll take it to them.
That's everything I have, Mr.
Vice Chairman Noy?
Yes, question for the applicant. I didn't see it on your picture, but will you be offering public charging for electric vehicles on site?
That's a great question. I think in discussing with some of the folks in the town at its initial phase, it's something that we did consider, although I guess the short answer is no, because the idea was if we're drawing in folks to use, our services or our product, then they would go back out and then utilize the town's public infrastructure at the Wawa, where I believe the town has in their comp plan an initiative to establish public charging infrastructure at the corridor of 234 and Route 1. So unless, if there's a benefit that you're thinking about, I'm happy to consider it for the public, but it's not something that we had. Obviously, there would be some charging stations for our own business, and we welcome folks in the town to come and use them. I don't mind that, but it wasn't like a service we were offering.
Okay.
Yeah.
All right. So I know, because if people would drive by and they would see it, somebody's mind,
They would think yeah, I understand.
those are my only question, Mr. Chair. Thank you.
Okay. So two things. One that stood out to me is you said your sales would be primarily electric. You didn't say exclusively electric. So that leads me to believe that there will be additional sales other than electric vehicles, whether it be through trade-in. I know you said something about wholesale, getting rid of vehicles through wholesale, but how long will vehicles that aren't part of your electric stock sit on that lot before they be moved to wholesale? And also, you keep referencing the existing use with the automotive repair and that type of thing. You do have a nice looking plan. I like aesthetically what it looks like, but the zone which was changed, what was it, 2013?
2018.
2013. That was done because we were, trying to get away from that in that area. And everything was moved to FBO1 for a reason that we didn't want automotive sales, repairs, all that in the area. So although it is a good looking product, for me, I would rather see it stay up at FBO1. And I don't know if there's any possible parcels up that fit that bill, but it's just not with what we had saw ourselves moving forward with as far as the business district going. That wasn't in our plan, and I have a hard time with it. That's just me, though. Is it anybody else have anything else they want to add to that, or another thought you may have had?
Yes.
Okay, go ahead.
I think you hit on the point. You said you'll be selling electric cars, am I correct?
That's right, yes.
Exclusively.
Yes, and if I may, a quick response, just to clarify a point for the chair, Mr. Chair. Our current operation out of Loudoun County is primarily, the language there is primarily electric vehicles. But through discussions with Mr. Tabor, the idea here is that there will be exclusive sales of electric vehicles only. So just to clarify, that's the idea here. And that's, I believe the express language of the resolution will require that it's exclusively electric vehicles. And then as to the service component and those rights that are existing on the parcel, we have no issue to conditioning that with respect to the CUP as being, for example, like all service activity must be indoors. We have no issue with that, if that's a concern.
I still got the floor, right?
Yes, sir.
You're saying now that all service activities will be indoors, on that site?
Yes, to the extent there are any service activities that are retained, they'll only be indoors. We have no intention of doing any service work outdoors, and that's going to contribute to the aesthetically pleasing plan that we put together. So it's only, the parking will only be utilized for vehicles that are on display for sale.
Let's go back to my original question.
Okay.
I questioned you earlier about maintenance and service. You said there would be no maintenance or service at this site. Am I correct?
So our mainline business of EV auto sales, with respect to our vehicles, there won't be any service of our vehicles, and we will not be servicing our vehicles. However, because this parcel has its historical use, or one of the uses that's historically there and active is automotive repair, that may continue to be present on the site indoors, inside the service facility.
Question for Mr. Tabor. Mr. Tabor, am I mistaken? Did I read somewhere that you stated there would be no service or maintenance in one of your narratives?
That is correct. In the draft ordinance, we do have automobile maintenance and service are prohibited. But if the applicant wants to request an amendment, then, that's certainly the applicant's prerogative and the commission's prerogative.
But, okay, because I'm going on what I read.
Right.
I mean, it's kind of contradicting what he's saying. Am I confused?
Just to be clear, with apologies, the point of contention might be that Mr. Tabor and I did not discuss this specific point in advance, but it's something we're happy to work through and discuss.
Okay, so maybe we need to hear this again at some point, but all those points cleared up there, huh?
Yes, sir. Commissioner Wood.
So if we do approve this still needs to go to the council, and council will make the final decision. And then since council is the one that initially in 2013 said no, that they didn't want any more vehicle sales, they would be the ones to make the final decision, right? So, and I know his presentation said one thing, but we are voting off of what's on the papers, not what he said in his presentation.
Yes, unless you vote to amend what's on the paper.
Thank you.
Okay. Mr. Russell?
I'm good.
Okay. Mr. Basil?
No further questions?
Vice Chairman Noy?
I yield, sir.
Okay, and I do not have any more questions at this time. So, the public hearing was open for him to speak on this matter, was it not?
So we had no.
Yeah, I thought I had done that. So we open the public hearing on this zone text amendment. So is there anyone else that's present to speak on this? Seeing none. We need to have a motion. You want to close the public hearing on this one?
Comment
Go ahead, sir.
to Commissioner Wood's point. What we are voting on specifically is the language that's written in the resolution as submitted by Mr. Tabor. Am I correct? And that language says there that maintenance and service is prohibited. Am I correct? Because at this point, no one has made any kind of motion to alter or to, change that language. So we are voting that to approve it with prohibited service and maintenance. That's my understanding.
My understanding. Unless someone wants to make a motion to amend. Seeing none, then we would be voting on as
Understand?
it stands.
I apologize. So I think we'll need to close the public hearing officially
Okay.
before you consider a motion.
We'll close the public hearing for this amendment. And now we'll open it up for a motion to either approve or disapprove this amendment. Do I have a motion to approve? Yes?
Yes.
Okay. Do I have a second on that motion to approve?
I'll second,
Okay.
please, if I might, because as she indicated, but two things. One, the final say-so is with the council. And two, the language says that we're voting on, so it prohibits service and maintenance. So I'll support this.
Okay, so we had a motion and a second. We'll call for the vote. Commissioner Bizel,
Approve.
Commissioner Russell,
No.
Commissioner Tony,
Approve.
Commissioner Wood, I'm sorry,
Yes.
Vice Chairman Noy,
No for me.
and that's a no for me. So what was that vote?
3-3.
Failed, okay. Thank you. So that motion failed, so three fails to approve, well, 4 fails to approve, correct?
3-3, so it don't pass.
3-3.
It's 3-3.
Right.
Okay. Yeah, 3 and 3 is a stalemate, so we don't pass. Okay. So now we move on to the second one.
The next item is ZTA 2026-002, petition to add churches and places of worship with a conditional use, as a conditional use in the B2 district. So the town of Dumfries received a petition to amend the town code, Division 7, Business Neighborhood District B2, to add church use as an allowed use in the B2 district with conditions and a CUP or conditional use permit. During a regular meeting held on January 3rd, 2018, and following a recommendation from the Planning Commission and a duly advertised public hearing on December 5th, 2017, the Town Council adopted Ordinance 0-2018-002, amending the Code of the Town of Dumfries, Chapter 70, Article 3, Section 70-282, relating generally to Neighborhood Business District B2 use regulations, finding that zoning text amendments to be consistent with the town's comprehensive plan, good zoning practices, public necessity, and in the best interest and general welfare of the town of Dumfries, and recommended adoption by the town council. Among many other changes, the zoning text amendment removed number 5, churches and places of worship, subject to securing a conditional use permit with conditions. Churches and places of worship are permitted currently in the residential limited district R1 and the residential general district R2. The proposed code text amendments are as follows. Section 70-282B, uses allowable pursuant to a conditional use permit, structures to be erected or land to be used for one of the following uses shall be allowed subject to a conditional use permit in accordance with Section 70-10 of the zoning ordinance. Only one main structure and its accessory building shall be erected on any lot or parcel of land in this district. One, bed and breakfast inn, which is currently in the code. Two, childcare or adult daycare center, which is currently in the code. And then adding churches and houses, places of worship. That should be. So section 70-4, chapter and zoning map adopted as zoning regulations of the town purposes for the purpose of promoting health, safety, and general welfare of the public, and further accomplishing the objectives of the Code of Virginia. This chapter is adopted as the zoning regulations of the town together with the zoning map. This chapter has been designed to, number 7, encourage economic development activities that provide desirable employment and enlarge the tax base. And please know that churches and places of worship are tax exempt organizations and therefore do not directly serve to enlarge the tax base. As stated in the ordinance adopted in 2018 by the town council initiated by resolution direction to staff to review the town's comprehensive plan regulating permitted uses in the business and commercial districts and to propose text amendments. The motivation, as was included in the staff report and the ordinance, the motivation was related to the desire to maintain, implement, and ensure the town code's adherence to the adopted comprehensive plan and to enhance and or expand current business and commercial uses and curtail the diminishment of the tax base within the business and commercial districts created by the presence of a high percentage of tax exempt entities in the business and commercial districts. So staff conducted a search for churches in the town and identified 20 churches and places of worship in the town of Dumfries, and 2 are not located in business districts. Some of the places of worship predate the code amendment or obtained a conditional use permit. Staff will confirm whether any were established after the code amendment and work to ensure that those uses comply with the town code. This map shows the location of the 20 churches and places of worship identified. And this is a list of those churches and places of worship. So staff recommends that the Planning Commission recommends denial of the petition to amend the code to allow churches in business districts. Although the comprehensive plan promotes the development of mixed-use corridors, both residential and commercial uses would directly generate revenue for service needs associated with the development, such as public safety and infrastructure maintenance through the generation of tax revenue for the town. Tax exempt organizations do not directly produce revenue to help address such impacts for the use. Thank you, and I'm happy to respond to any questions, and the applicant is here as well to provide additional information.
Yes. Okay, so the applicant, please step forward.
Good evening,
Good evening.
Commissioners. Dumfries, I didn't know anything about Dumfries. I came to 2 of the meetings, the most recent meetings that you've had this month, and I'm intrigued. I like what y'all doing. And listening to the businesses that y'all trying to bring in to make this successful. everything that y'all are voting on, implementing bridges, implementing, opening the river, bringing in new businesses. I know and I understand the base of the taxes that brings in to Dumfries, to the community. It's already been recommended a no, but I come before y'all. And instead of going into trying to convince you to change, because it's very difficult, I know. 2013, it was your predecessors that voted on it. They had their ideas on why they did it. I have my ideas on why, it to an extent is an error. Because hearing Mr. Wood, I like what he said. I want the people to look at Dumfries, to not drive through it, but drive to it. And I was like, wow, that's neat. I like it. And that's what we're trying to do. Our church is in all 50 states. We have it in Washington. It came to Manassas. It came to Woodbridge, but we're renting in Woodbridge. And then we found this business here that's going to be for sale. And what I'm bringing in is economy, because everything that you're going to build, you're trying to bring people from the outside to look inside. I already saw inside, and I'm willing to bring those 150. We also have in Fredericksburg other brothers that also are there, in Charlottesville, in Richmond. So they're not going to drive through. They're going to drive to, because we're a community. Talking about my community is going to be your community. And that's what I'm here for, to get that opportunity so you can see, like the gentleman before me, that's beautiful. Just looking at it, and you all saw that, to beautify. There's not a lot of people that do that. They come in and beautify. They buy what's existing and they leave it like that. Our church doesn't do that. We also come in and we beautify. We do extraordinary things. Our brothers and sisters, they come in, we have landscapers, we have electricians, we have plumbers. In other words, the facilities that we own, they're in tip-top form, because I know what y'all looking for also, the aesthetics. If the sidewalk needs to be work done in front of our business, we're going to do it. We want to help, and we've been helping. In our other facilities, we've helped the cities in picking up trash, also painting over graffiti. In COVID, we also did baskets. We bought those plastic containers, we filled them up, and not only our church, we also did it for the community. We go out and prepare baskets for the firefighters, for the police officers. We want to be involved, and that's when we want to be part of Dumfries. Now, if I ask you, if y'all can vote on, we're willing to pay the taxes. I talked to all the council members, I talked to the mayor, and that's an option, because it's going to be for the community, and it's open every day. Our church is open every day. When I was in Queens, New York, a gentleman came in. He wasn't from our church. He was sitting at the steps. I drove up at the church, and I said, "Can I help you?" "Yes, my church was closed. I need some help." I opened the door. I took him in. We started talking. He told me what he was grieving about, and we prayed about it. He wasn't from our church, and that's what we bring. Anybody can come in. And we have services in Spanish. We have services in English. We already have a churches that is strictly English. In Georgia, we have strictly English. In Texas, we have quite a few of them that is only English. So that's what we want to bring here to Dumfries. Just if you all want to amend, like I know y'all can amend in where if it's a tax burden, we don't want to do that. If you want to amend that we will be paying our taxes, and looking at the taxes, we can't pay it. So that's my proposition to y'all. If y'all accept it, any questions, any concerns, I'm here. Thank you for your time.
Thank you. We'll open up the floor to Commissioner Tony.
You come back to me.
Oh, yes, sir. Commissioner Wood?
No questions right now. Should I wait for comments?
If you don't have a question right now, that's fine.
I have comments, so should
Yeah, yeah. Let's see, because somebody else may have a question that might prompt something. Commissioner Russell?
No questions.
No question. Commissioner Beisel?
No questions.
Vice Chairman Noy?
I have two questions for the applicant. First one, in looking at the satellite photo of what's already there are two structures that are there. Do you guys have plans on what you're going to do with both those structures, or you're going to demolition that and build something else, or?
No, we're gonna stay with those two structures. The one structure is a house. That's gonna be the rectory, the minister's house. And then the other one is gonna be the one, 35 is where the fellowship area is gonna be open.
Second question for you is parking considerations, because I know that lot, Axe Road, it actually shares with another business. So how are you guys, or have you figured out what your parking consideration is going to be?
In the back, if you see in the satellite, there's a fence already around it. All that is gonna be the parking on the side. You have on one of the buildings, opposite from the post office, you have about 10 parking spaces, the ones that are shared. We're mostly gonna use the ones inside because there's enough parking right there to accommodate. And if we do need to use the side ones, and then ours is after hours. It's when nobody is, all the businesses are closed.
That was going to be my next question. So Sunday and evening times during the week is when?
Yeah, 7 o'clock, 6 o'clock at the earliest, 6, and then 7 o'clock other days. Sundays is 10 to 12, and then in the evening is 10 to 5. 5 to 7. Ours is only an hour and a half, 2 hours. That's it. We don't go beyond 4 hours, 5 hours, unless we have, like I said, a community activity. But that's once a month, twice a month, or whatever. Like if the city has something that needs our help, we're going to be there.
My only question, Mr. Chair. Thank you.
Okay. For me, my question is for Mr. Tabor, but I'll get to that in a second. I don't have a problem with churches. I do, however, feel like any churches within the town should be in the area or the areas that we have opted for them to be in. So my question to you, Mr. Tabor, is about what this gentleman is saying about the taxes. How is that something that can be done when this is a tax-exempt organization? Because for me, it is about the town's tax revenue in that district.
Honestly, the honest answer is I'm not certain. And I guess I could speculate, but I'm not certain how that would work.
Yeah, I've had dealings with tax exempt organizations myself, and I really would like to know how that's doable, because that was the reason why that was changed, because the taxable income from whatever businesses that we opt to put in that district is what we were counting on. And churches are tax exempt. So we have an area set for that. And in my opinion, that's where our churches need to concentrate on. Once we do that, and for example, you said you'd be willing to pay taxes, but once you open that up, what's to say the next church that comes to apply is going to be willing to do what you're doing? Because that's not realistic for us to think that way. So unless there's a stipulation that can be put in, and that's a whole nother can of worms. I can't support it personally. Yes, sir, Vice Chairman.
One more question for the applicant. I just thought, if you indulge me, with the two structures there, is there a plan at any point to modify your footprint within that area at all, short term? I know long term you probably can't speak on, but
No.
short term,
No,
you just use them as is
as is,
right now.
as is.
Okay.
And for the chair, just to kind of answer a little bit of his question, what I know that I got from the council is there are churches already, or they're not churches, they're fellowships that they already pay taxes. Like for instance, for us to buy that property, it's going to be, well, let me put it this other way. It's going to be an extension of our church, like Richmond, Virginia. It's going to be an extension. It's not going to be a nonprofit organization. That's why we're not gonna put it as a nonprofit organization where you have to change everything. So this is one of the things that I got from the council when I was speaking to them, to do it this way. Before I was talking to Mr. Tabor, when I was first getting the applications, I didn't know what was what. And then when I saw that y'all took out churches, I was like, wow, okay, back to the drawing boards. And that's why I came and talked, so they can get to know me. And the council were very appreciative, because they, like right now, you don't know me, I don't know y'all. And we didn't have that opportunity to expand on the questions, because there's a lot of questions, like the vice chair just said. I can't speak in the future, but if we get to know each other, that I'm truthful, that you're truthful, it's vice versa. So I try to speak as much truth as I can, because in the future, I'm not gonna be able to look at you in the eye, but you said, hey, I was kind of fibbing there. No. I try to be as truthful as I can. I learned that from my mom, from my dad, because that's where we get our education from the beginning. And now with God's knowledge and help, everything changes, or more advancement in the way we conduct ourselves. So, Chair, I hope I get that. I gave you a little bit more confidence in where we're going. And I think there is a way where we don't have to change everything. It's put it that way, it's a for-profit, or where we're going to pay your taxes, where we pay our taxes. So we're willing to do that. And that's because I got that from the council and from the mayor, so there is a possibility for that. And I hope you, like the commissioner said, what's said, what's here, that's what we're going to be voting on, that we're going to be paying taxes and not on something that's not there yet. And I hope we can come down to that decision so we can move forward in me especially. Where do I go from here? And I hope I can get your help.
Thank you. Yes, sir.
Can I ask? I have a couple questions. Absolutely. Thank you for speaking tonight. I appreciate you taking the time to talk to us. I have a few questions. As far as the use of the property, do you see any additional uses such as daycare or day school or anything like that that your church would be doing?
None of our churches have that.
Okay. And do you have a rough idea of how many parishioners would be at your church?
Right now, in Woodbridge, we have about 60,
Okay.
about 60.
So I guess for your intention of this property and its use, do you see that the property meets your needs for having the number of people that you want to be attending? But in addition to that, do you have enough parking on site? Do you have enough space and facilities to operate efficiently on your site? Or are you looking that you are going to have to look at parking off-site somewhere and then bring a bus in to bus people to your site?
I think what's there right now, what we have, it can accommodate it. Like in the future, like in the back, the business there, they have parking right there. Next door, they have parking, and then the side, we would just get permission to use it because it's after hours. It's not during their working hours. It's after hours. Saturday, Sundays. Also, or Sunday, Saturday because it's the same. It's after hours, but Sunday probably in the morning. But nobody works because we've done that. There's some churches that are already zoned that way. And because it was already grandfathered that way, there was no parking. But there was a business next door, so we had to go get the city, that's what they required, go get an affidavit and sealed that they're gonna lend you the parking. If not, we gotta see what we're gonna do. So we can do that also. We can go to the business in the back. There's a house in the side and nobody lives there. So we can, but I don't think we're gonna, if we do, the back is sufficient. Oh, because we also have the front, as you see those two academies, also that. And then we have the post office that also we can ask if we can use that as parking. So if they ever need our parking, they can use it, so.
I understand what you're saying, but I think it would definitely be helpful, especially for your case, if you already had at least a letter from those adjacent properties saying that we support having a church as a neighbor and like that. So that way, if you are discussing about parking, then that's something that's already up front. You've loaded it up front saying, I've talked to my neighbor. My neighbor supports me. Here's a letter of recommendation from the neighbor and like that. I think that would be helpful for your case in moving forward, because in this town, we've had many issues in the past of a business coming in and then all of a sudden their business, whether it's growing or expanding, needs a lot of parking. And now that parking becomes an issue. And now it's parking across Route 1 and people are having to cross Route 1, and that's a safety issue. So for me as a commissioner, I like to see that there is a plan and that there is a path forward and not, what unfortunately a lot of applicants do is they do something and then ask for forgiveness afterwards. And that's not the way it should be done.
If we can put it as a condition, for, if that's the way y'all gonna vote, we can put that as a condition. If I don't get the letters from, my neighbors, which I'm 99% sure I'll get them. But, and that 99% is telling y'all, I'll put it, I mean, if y'all can put it as a condition that, no, you're not gonna get until you get those, signatures. I'll be there tomorrow and start getting those signatures, because I've done it before. I was just pressed with time, and that shouldn't be an excuse, but I can do that as soon as tomorrow and get the two businesses in the front, talk to the post office because they're gonna have to ask, and then the business in the back. But like I was saying, what we have right now, what's there accommodates it. But you're looking into the future, okay, I'm gonna look with you to the future, and I'll get that as a condition. So, for the meeting with the city council, I'll have that, or I'll send it to Mr. Tabor as soon as I get it.
No more questions, thank you.
Okay. You good, right?
One more question for the applicant. You are aware that we are making changes to that area as far as Main Street and making it more of a walkable area, and you're okay with that short term as far as there's going to be limited vehicle traffic in the next few years in that area. So, okay. All right. That's my only question.
Okay, Commissioner Wood, you said you had some comments?
No, fine. I think you said part of what was on my mind, so.
Okay. Commissioner Tony, do you have anything?
I mean, while he was talking and a lot of things are running through my mind. No, I don't have anything.
Okay. That's it for the commissioners. We'll open up for public hearing. Anyone else? No one else, I believe, is here to speak on this matter. So at this time, we need to get a motion. Let's close the public, okay, so I'll close the public hearing first. And now I'll ask for a motion to either approve this text amendment moving forward or to not approve it. Do I have a motion either way?
I'll make a motion to vote.
Resolution, would be to recommend or not recommend.
Is that not what I said?
I'll make a motion to change the zoning to allow for the applicant. So is that okay? Okay. I'll make that motion.
Okay, motion is made to allow,
Or to vote on the change.
to vote to allow the change.
Yeah.
To amendment. Do I have a second to that motion? I do not have a second.
I'll make a second.
Okay, so we do have a second. Motion's been made by Vice Chairman Noy and seconded by Commissioner Beisel. So to be clear, we're voting to allow this change.
Correct. That's how we vote. Yes.
Okay. So we'll go along, down the line, Commissioner, Tony?
Have some discussion. We still have some discussion.
Yes, sir.
Prior to the vote.
Yes, sir.
Well, first, I was on the 13th committee when we voted to take it out. I remember at that time, there was a lot of discussion. This thing was looked at quite a bit with the staff and other members. And to look at what is being proposed, I would recommend to the applicant that they find another spot that's in one of the areas that allow for this. So that's one reason why I can't support it right now. Because I don't think that we'll be open that can of worms up again. It took us a while to get it closed. Again, tax-based, the activities and all of that. That's business districts are set for businesses so that they can generate a tax base, that's being homogeneous. So therefore, I can't support that.
Okay, so your vote would be a no.
I would be a no.
Commissioner Wood?
I appreciate the work that you all are doing with saving souls. I do feel that you should probably try and find a different location. And the town dumpsters is great, but a different location. And, some of the concerns is, which we have right now, is traffic. And like Vice Chair said, eventually we're going to move to a walkable district. So churches bring a lot of traffic. So on that, that's some of the reasons why I said no. I would say no.
Okay. Commissioner Russell?
No.
All right, and that is a no for me. So that motion fails. I thought they motioned, they still got to vote on it. So, for Commissioner Basel?
No,
My fault. You said no?
I said no.
Okay. And Vice Chairman Owen?
I propose the motion, so I say yes, but
Okay. So that motion fails 5-1.
If I
Sorry
may,
for that misunderstanding. Yes, sir.
I would also like to say to the applicant, we would love to have you here in the right place. And I agree with Mr. Woods. We appreciate the work that you all are doing. And we hope that you continue and you find a suitable spot in this town moving forward to continue with your work.
Just a brief comment.
Yes, sir. Make it brief, though.
Yeah. I would like to be here also. If there was a place that y'all can tell me about, I'll be glad to move in there. But this is a spot that we found, and it's kind of disheartening that a church is seen that way at this moment, because a church is not something that's going to affect the community in any way, any manner, because everything is going to bring congestion. Businesses are going to bring a lot of stuff, and like I saw a lot of what he's trying to do, with that business, it's an eyesore, and that's what we're trying to do. And I appreciate your time. I appreciate you listening. And if you have somewhere that you can see that we can have a beginning here, I'm all ears. I'm not, stuck on one area or stuck there. It's just the only opportunity or the first opportunity that was there. So we took it. We're going to expand. We're going to need a bigger church, but that's just going to be a satellite. We're going to modify, we're going to do anything. Somebody else is going to buy it, and you don't know what it's going to bring. A church brings peace, it brings harmony, and I appreciate your time.
Understood. Thank you. Thank you.
Thank you very much.
Thank you. All right. Now, we'll have the third presentation.
Yes, Honorable Chair, Vice Chair, and members of the commission. The final petition this evening is zoning text amendment 2026-003, a petition to add multifamily use as an allowed use in the R2 district with conditions and a conditional use permit. The town of Dumfries received a petition to amend the Town Code Division 3, Residential General District R2, to add multifamily use as an allowed use in the R2 district with conditions and a CUP or conditional use permit. Section 70-646A of the Town Code gives the Town Council authority to adopt amendments to the zoning ordinance by ordinance whenever the public necessity, convenience, general welfare, or good zoning practice requires. Virginia Code Section 15.2-2285 requires that no zoning ordinance shall be amended or reenacted unless the governing body has referred the proposed amendment or reenactment to the local planning commission for its recommendations. Multifamily use is allowed in the B1 and B2 district. Multifamily use may also be allowed in a PMUD or planned mixed use district. The proposed code text amendments are identified as to allow multifamily use in an R2 district, lower the minimum lot size for R1 and R2 to 8,500 square feet to allow for the maximum density of 5 dwelling units per acre to be achieved. Setback regulations for the district shall be favorable to accommodate the maximum density. The setback line for buildings shall not be less than 15 feet from all property or right-of-way lines. The setback must be reserved for walks, shrubbery, trees, screen tree planting in the setback shall be required. Parking requirements shall be in addition to the 15 feet reserved. The average separation between adjacent apartment buildings shall be 30 feet, and construction of the interior street shall conform to the town's ordinances and policies. Currently, there are no allowed conditional uses in the R2 district, so any conditional uses, any text amendments to add conditional uses would be new and not amend existing conditional uses. So the option I provided, I guess, 3 options for your consideration. And one is as submitted and just read, to add the conditional use section to the Town Code Section 70-143. And additional options would be to incorporate the amendments in the petition and add relevant sections from the existing town code, section R4 multifamily. And a third option could be to incorporate R4 multifamily district regulations into the R2 district. So I wanted to also add that these are provisions or actions in the town's recently adopted comprehensive plan that relate to housing and would be impacted or would impact the aspects of the zoning text amendment. One is an action item to implement the residential off Main Street district recommended in the planned Main Street district pattern book to regulate development of the residential neighborhood north of the Main Street and to introduce new forms of housing as a complement to Main Street. Another is to encourage a diversity of housing types, to promote variety of forms and price points, implement the ROMS zoning district recommended in the planned Main Street District Pattern Book to help fulfill this goal. A third is to encourage the development of single-family household, attached units, and condominiums in order to balance the housing stock to match the changing population composition in the town. Another is to provide a variety of housing types, such as duplexes, fourplexes, small apartment buildings, and medium-density multifamily, including apartments over shops. A fifth is plan for an inclusive community by developing housing at a variety of price points. A sixth is plan for an inclusive community by promoting the development of housing for all ages and abilities. And a seventh is plan for an inclusive community by developing and implementing housing strategies for older adults and multi-generational households, and align strategies with the AARP age-friendly community, then pursue AARP certification. And those are all action items adopted in the town's comprehensive plan related to housing. With regard to staff's recommendation, the town is actually embarking on a town housing study, and staff recommends tabling consideration of this item until after the housing study is complete. The housing study will include an analysis of existing conditions, housing needs, and make recommendations to address them. And the study is expected to be completed within 6 to 7 months. The applicant is here this evening and can share some comments and respond to questions.
Hello, Mr. Chair, Mr. Vice Chair and Commission. My name is Naeem Arshad. I'm a resident of the town for almost 2 decades. I own the property, the subject property, and I am very thankful to the town staff to bringing this zoning text amendment before you for review. I believe it's a much needed amendment to align some of the vision that comprehensive plan and the town seeks to address some of the residential areas. This property I own, it actually caught on fire recently, and at that point I started looking into ways to redevelop, and I come to find out that the requirements and regulations in the residential do not align perfectly in my thought process, and I had difficult time to figure out how I should redevelop this subject property. And I'll just try to go through some of the key points, I guess, before you. So first of all, I like to mention that the current zoning district R2 allows 10,000 square foot lot, but the requirements for the frontage and the buffers make it very hard for any property to be developed. And in my study of the town area in that neighborhood, I noticed there's many large properties, and few have been recently developed as well. But due to the frontage restrictions, they were somehow allowed to do flag lots. I couldn't really find any regulations on those kind of things. So again, like I said, it's difficult to really develop many of the lots, large lots in the town, especially in that area. In addition, I also noticed that the R4 zoning that the town has, the current zoning map does not show any properties that is considered in R4. So the whole language ordinance is kind of not referred to or not used in any of the developments. And I believe that many of those ordinances allow a lot of interest for developers in many of the properties in residential areas to develop and align with the future developments that are coming in the town of Dumfries and the comprehensive plan. I am actually excited to bring this, standing before you to talk about this. I feel this kind of fills in that gap that we have currently in the town to highlight that in the future land use plan, this area was highlighted as a medium density dwelling units. And some of the language that I proposed is from the comprehensive plan that allows for medium development, which is, I think currently is 4.3 dwelling units per acre. And I think comprehensive plan recommends higher. And so this area that I bring before you, it falls under the comprehensive plan. I'm just looking at a few of my notes just to see if there's anything else I can add. But I think staff done a fabulous job to kind of address some of the gaps and how we can fill those and address in the residential area to align with the comprehensive plan. I think I would stop here. I think I made my points. Thank you.
Thank you, sir. At this point, we'll ask for questions from Commissioner Tony.
This parcel of land on Washington Street up here,
Yes, sir.
sort of back over in the corner back there.
Yes, sir. This is, it's right past that church property. The church is on the left and this is on the right side.
Okay. How many homes are back there? How many? Do you know how many residential homes are back there?
Just around that property. There's recent development right before my property where I kind of pointed out as well. They were allowed flag lots due to the frontage restrictions. I think they're building 3-4 houses there. And then past my property, there's a few individual houses there. And then further down at the stop sign, down further all the way, all properties on the right seems to be very least developed. There's like big lots with small little houses. I think maybe there's 2 or 3 single family houses, yes. And I think before that, there's some trailer homes and so forth in that street. So I'm kind of a little further than that church, or starting at the church property at the end of that church property. I think that lot on the left side is also on sale behind church.
Okay. All right.
Okay. Commissioner Wood?
No question.
Commissioner Russell?
So the property is outside the historic district, is that correct?
It is just outside, yes.
I'm sorry for your property loss. That's never easy, but I I realize you're trying to get a higher density and you feel that works with what the town's vision is. However, I think you still have avenues to reconstruct on the property. I realize that the setbacks may not be what you need, but you could go before the ARB to get a modification as far as, and please, Mr. Tabor, if I'm incorrect, please let me know. But there are avenues for you if your lot does not work exactly, especially in your condition. If there was a fire like that, that is a hardship. You may be able to go in front of the ARB to get a zoning amendment, not a zoning amendment. BZA, thank you. But the BZA to get your a house to fit there properly. But as far as the density, I don't see that fitting in that type of neighborhood. But I do appreciate you coming before us. That's all I have. Thank you.
Thank you, sir. Commissioner Basil?
Yeah, I mean, I can see where in different parts of the town, we actually have had to, or have thoughts to increase density of multifamily dwellings. You know, I with the recommendation to table it, there's going to be doing a study, and part of that is I think a real concrete plan of how many dwellings are going to be on the property. And again, parking is always a consideration for these homes. So, and then just one question, one piece of language I saw, I think twice in here was possibly making it so there were like apartments stacked on top of businesses. Was that just part of our coding line? That's not part of your plan?
Right. So just to address a couple of questions came up. One, that I don't have any plans on building on top of the commercial or any of that sort. And I don't think that's the intention of the zoning amendment is as well. I think the intention is to kind of line it with the R4 residential zoning, which allows multifamily, because currently there's no lot in the town that allows multifamily other than the business district, of course. So secondly, my plan is to kind of restrict my development, is to, 12 apartments. So something very medium size to line with the comprehensive plan as well. Nothing major, nothing multi-story and so forth. I'm just trying to keep a minimum, just develop it in line with the vision, and not go through. There is a RPA in the back of that lot. My current lot is about 3 acres combined, a little over 3 acres combined. And my plan is not to touch the RPA at all, and combine the two and just develop the frontage, which is way out of RPA. Again, the parking requirements would be in line with the current zoning district as well. And I think that's the intention of this zoning amendment, is to not change anything. It's just accommodate some of the larger lots. If that's why I said R4, because R4 restricts anything over, I think, 2.5 acres. So anything larger than 2 acres or 2.5 acres would fall in this category. That's the intention that I came up with.
Yeah, no further questions. Thank you.
Vice Chairman O.
Yes. So you did address one question I had. You said it's going to be 12, you're thinking 12 units.
Yes.
So with parking, what is that, 28
Yeah,
spaces?
so I think it's 3.5 per unit. So it's about, I think I had laid out about 30 parking spots in the lot.
Okay. Okay. My question for Mr. Tabor, I know when we were doing the housing study, as far as, are we going to talk about stormwater management and flood mitigation? Because I know that area back there has some challenges with stormwater. So That's going to be included. I'm hoping that's included in the study. Okay. All right. That's the only question I have, sir. Are you
Okay. I don't have any questions. I'd like to follow staff recommendation as far as, getting the study done to see what's the best avenue as far as, the different options. I did have one and it just kind of went away. I just want to tip my tongue too. I lost it. That's okay. It'll come back. I'll say. Does anyone else want to add anything additional? No.
I was going to say, Mr. Chair, I'll make a motion to actually table the recommendation until the town's study is complete. And if we say 6 to 7 months, then we put it back on our docket around the December meeting for us.
Second.
Second. Okay.
I agree. Before we vote on that though, we open just the public hearing. Okay, we'll open this.
May I make a comment? Sorry.
I'll take my motion back. I'll retract my motion.
Yes, sir. Yes, go ahead, sir.
Yeah, sorry, just wanted to bring to your attention, I'm not sure the amount of effort that was put in for the comprehensive plan recommendations. Obviously, you mentioned that there's a housing study is happening, and then it could take about 6 months or so, and then we can come back before planning commission. And obviously, my property has been, burned for a while. I had different thoughts, process, and applications submitted, and it's been quite a while for me. I just want to propose that my plan is recommending already all the effort that has been put in, a light that I saw in the comprehensive plan. And I kind of propose my recommendation in line with all that has been done. So we're putting an applicant on wait until further studies are done. It just seems that we're not clear what the vision of the town is. Just my thought and humble opinion. So I just humbly request if we could consider, because it is with the CUP, which brings the application once I propose a plan before you again for individual reviews on every other application that comes before you in the future for any residential development. So it's just my humble request to please consider that you have full control of anything that develops in those districts, even with the amendments I am proposing, which are kind of in alignment and not majorly changes the current residential districts.
Thank you. Anyone else have a comment?
I'll just say, actually, I like the idea of it. You've got a lot of land back there. It is away from the main street enough where I don't think you'll get a lot of traffic that's going to impact things. With any recommendation to table, I think is just making sure that the information is all met, and that the dwelling will be appropriate for the town. I think blueprints, we've seen a couple, satellite or digital mock-ups of what the plan would be, for us to visualize what the end plan will be. I think, that would bring a lot of power to your case as well. I'll say I like it.
I mean, I did submit the plan, so maybe if we can table it till next month, maybe you can look at my plan instead of pushing it 6 months. Just my thought.
So, Mr. Tabor, just correct me if I'm wrong. ultimately, our decision is a recommendation anyway, right? So even if we decided as a board that we wanted to table this, that's still up to council as to whether or not they want to adhere to our recommendation. So I say that to say, sir, that just because we may consider tabling it, that does not say that you're dead in the water for that amount of time. Because we make a recommendation, they can choose to go with it or not go with it. But, you know, we each have our decisions to make. And for those of us that's been here, as yourself, have been here for a long time, we try to make a decision based off of what we see to be the best plan forward overall for everybody. So in saying that, I say that sometimes it is better for us to take a step back and make sure that we've gotten it right, what we want to see or what falls in line with, because this plan has changed a few times. So we have to keep up with what we've deleted, what we put back in, and what we want to see overall. So the staff's recommendation to table it is, you know, for me, that's a recommendation that I'm personally going to go with. But that doesn't mean that the council will adhere to that. Anyone else? No. Okay. So we'll open the public hearing for this item. And if there's no one here to speak in addition, which I don't believe there is, we'll now close the public hearing. And at this point now, I'll call for that motion.
I will renew my motion to table it until the town's housing study is complete. And again, that'll put it back on our review, November, December, planning commission meeting.
I'll second that.
Okay, we have a motion by Vice Chairman Noy to table this, and a second by Commissioner Russell. We'll call for the vote at this time. Commissioner Tony. Aye. Commissioner Wood.
Yeah.
Commissioner Russell.
Yes.
Commissioner Beisel.
No.
Vice Chairman Noy.
Yes.
And I am a yes, so that motion carries 5-1. All right, at this time, we are going to just a minute. All right. We're gonna open this up for open forum for the commissioners. If there's anything that any commissioner wants to add in relation to this business or anything that you want to say at this time, this would be the time to do it. Commissioner Tony, do you have anything?
I think when matters come before us, we have to weigh certain things in terms of the vision that the town has, in terms of how we individually see these applications, and the fact that we are charged with regulating land use in this town. That is what the planning commission does. And primarily, you try to keep things homogeneous. You don't want to make decisions that's going to impose on your neighbors. I'm a homeowner in this town. Been here 28 years. Have seen a whole lot of growth and development. I've seen things and times change, and take very seriously the task that we are charged with on this commission. So I'm saying this for the gentleman who did not possibly receive the answers they were looking for today. But that's, hopefully they will restructure it, bring it back, in such a fashion that we can pass it. Because we, at least in my thoughts, we are looking to include people in this town that has something positive to add. But we have structures in place. We have zoning ordinance and regulations that should be adhered to. We can't take it lightly just to make changes just on a whimsical kind of, and I don't want to use that lightly, but we have to be judicious in those decisions. That's all kind of like what I'm saying. And I think each member of this is serious about what we do when we come and sit here. And to sit home and read all of this and try to come and be prepared to make some substantive kinds of comments, that's primarily how we try to approach this business. Being a member of this commission. So that's my little comment.
Yes, sir. Thank you. Commissioner Wood?
I did over what Commissioner Tony said.
Thank you.
Said it well.
Commissioner Russell?
No comments.
Okay. Commissioner Beisel?
Yeah, I do think that we have some wonderful ideas coming forward through this town. And of course, we do want to work with all people to make sure that that the town has a place that's inclusive to ideas, beautification. I think somebody that's going to make something that's modern, looks good. I think that should be taken seriously in our plan. I do hope that our housing study does bring forward answers to what would be okay if this is just revisiting the multifamily dwelling. We've talked a lot about increasing affordability and housing in this town, so I think that the plan there actually did sound pretty good. Water management's always a big issue. Parking is always a big issue when we're talking about getting along the edge of your border of the property. Yes, respecting our neighbors and how it would impact other homes is a big deal too. So, and that's it.
Thank you, sir. Vice Chairman Noy?
Yes, for town staff, I'm not going to ask because I know that the date is fluid, but the Route 1, 234 intersection, those construction barrels are getting closer and closer to folks' cars. So I'm hoping that opening will be happening soon. So I know, like I said, I know that the timeline has slipped, but I'm hoping it soon. So especially with the weather being nice. That's all I have, Mr. Chair.
Thank you, sir. I just want to echo what Commissioner Tony has said. We do take this serious, and we don't have an abundance of property in this town to what's the word I'm looking for? To be being too hasty about the decisions that are made as to how this property is used. We are charged with sticking to our comprehensive plan. We are charged with making sure that we discuss as a body what our options are and try to make sure that we do our best to get it right. And in the process of that, it does not always produce an outcome that everybody is happy with. Don't mistake that for us not wanting to work with people or not wanting to invite people to the town, because that's not at all what we're saying. What we're saying is things have been put into place for reasons, and those reasons were to hopefully uplift the town and put us in a better place economically. Socially and other things of that nature. So I say that to say that we will continue to discuss these items. We will continue to take a step back and make decisions based on what we think, should be the best recommendation in that moment. Just don't mistake that as us not trying to be cooperative or not wanting people to be here, because that's not at all the case. If no one else has another comment, we will adjourn this meeting at 9:07.